Good morning to our friends in Europe. Good afternoon. No, good morning to our friends in the United States. Afternoon in Europe. And good evening to our friends in Hong Kong. Welcome to our first webinar on pet supplies. And it's very fitting that we're having this webinar inside a 3-story pet shop in the area of Kowloon in Hong Kong. And I want to thank Chrissy for having us here today. And we will be showing more pictures and shots of the store later on. So firstly, a question, why pet market in Hong Kong? So I want to start the webinar with a few statistics. Firstly, the population of Hong Kong is 7.5 million, but actually how many pets do we have here? Statistics show, adding up all types of species, we have 1.2 million pets. And if we're just counting cats and dogs, it's over 600,000. So more than 500,000 cats and dogs in Hong Kong. And my colleagues tell me that is more than the population of kindergarten and primary school students in Hong Kong. So it's a very sizable number. And during the course of this webinar, we will be hearing from guests from the industry, from market research, and also from Invest Hong Kong, going over some of the key aspects that you as overseas brand owners might want to know about the market here. So firstly, I want to introduce the panel today. So we have Chrissy Kwan, founder of Rough and Fetch. This is the pet store that we're in. We have Elaine Xu, co-founder and CEO, AI Pet Care Limited, and a serial entrepreneur. And my good friend and pet owner of 17 years, Laura Konzinson, and the lovely Fa Sung, our special guest. If the audience can see right here, her golden retriever.
Here,
Yeah.
right here.
So we're going to start off with you, Laura. We have an audience really coming from all over the world, and they might not understand the specifics of pet owners or pet mamas in Hong Kong. So tell us a little bit more about your philosophy of having a pet.
All right, so just a bit of background. My name is Laura Konzinson, and Fa Sung is actually my 3rd dog in Hong Kong. One of the very interesting characteristics of pet owners in Hong Kong is that we actually treat our pets as kids. So I am actually being called Fa Sung Mom, which means mom of my dog. So a lot of times, anything that you can imagine having your kids go through that you'll spend, we will spend. So that's one of the philosophies, and it's always only the best. We look for the best product, we look for the best service, and we are very informed, a very close-knitted group of community of pet owners. So we do have a lot of information exchange.
Yeah, I just want to interject with a story here. I was with a friend, and he bought some organic salmon. I said, hey, but aren't you vegetarian? So I asked him. He said, yeah, I'm going to steam it for my dog. And I was like, oh, organic salmon, can I have some too? Yeah, so I think this is really an interesting showcase about humanization and premiumization, which is a common theme that we'll be talking about during this webinar. So, okay, Laura, this is all about business opportunities. You have to share with our audience here how much you actually spend on Fa Sung.
Okay, I have to be very honest with you. I actually don't quite think about how much I'm spending, but because of the webinar, I've actually did some math. So on average, including her food, her snacks, outfit, the fact that, she has a club membership, she swims, she has a dog walk, she has a dog trainer, and sometimes we put her in pet hotels, etc. On average, I'd be spending $800 per month on the lower bound.
Yeah.
On the upper bound, maybe $1,500 per month, something like that.
I think, thank you for supporting the economy, Laura. Okay, so when you do all these purchase behavior, when you're looking for supplies, looking for services, what's in your mind when you're looking for that?
Well, in fact, because of the humanization that you mentioned, right? We actually look for the best quality. So we will be asking the question, is this the best we can find in the market? Is this the best that's accessible? And even if it would mean that we have to spend more, I actually don't quite think about how much what we think about the best. And the other thing that we are very, very adamant about is the supply consistency. So if we get a product and if it's a constant feed of supply, then we tend to go for that more often.
Yeah. So do you do a lot of online shopping, or you prefer going to stores, or how do you shop?
Okay. Again, I don't think much.
Okay.
So wherever we go, say, for example, we're here at Rough and Fetch, and I just told Fasang when we finish this webinar, we're going to buy some toys for her. But also we do a lot of online subscription as well, for different types of products, and we group buy, like a group of community of pet owners. We will all, pool together what we want, and then we buy online. So anything that we can get our hands on that's good quality, we will buy.
Laura, you just mentioned a bit about the pet community. So, we have like parent-teacher association, parents groups, tutor groups. So you have pet family groups. Tell us a little bit more about that ecosystem in Hong Kong.
Well, in fact, very much like how you would have a kid group or a parents group. We have groups of dog owners. We have groups of golden retriever owners.
Oh, so specific.
Very specific.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the online Facebook community of Hong Kong's golden retriever group is over 15,000 people.
Whoa.
And members in that group. So
Yeah.
it's really a very close-knitted community. So what we do sometimes is we exchange information, we go out together, and we have a list of restaurants that we patronize because they allow dogs. And we also have specific like hiking groups or swimming clubs that we would like to join. So yes, it's very much like being a pet parent.
Yeah. So the last question before we move on to the other panelists is, some of our friends overseas, when they think about Hong Kong, there's a lot of high rises, a lot of, tall buildings, lots of shopping malls. I don't think everybody knows how more and more pet friendly Hong Kong is.
Well, I could give the audience some information that we do. For example, Hong Kong has roughly 70 to 80% of country parks. So which means we can bring our dog on hikes. And for instance, when I look for a flat to live, and I find that constantly property developers are more and more inviting to have pet flats, meaning maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago, a lot of houses do not really allow pets, but now we see in the housing deeds that pets are welcomed. And now I even moved into an office where I can bring Fasang.
Yes.
So I work and I live with her.
So has that changed the way you spend time with Fasang?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things that I love about being able to work with her is that I can be with her almost every time of the day. And in terms of spending, imagine I need one set of bed, one set of, whatever at home, and another set, in my office. So, and we also go for fashion. So she does not have one leash.
Yes.
She has a leash for hike, a leash for swim, a leash for beach, a leash for going out to eat in the restaurant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay, so that brings us easily onto Chrissy, who is founder of the Rough and Fetch store. Her husband Charles is in the background audience here, supporting us. So Chrissy, tell us more about yourself and your concept of the store.
Hi everyone, my name is Chrissy. I operate a pet club in Hong Kong. It's been 3 or 4 years since I opened it. And our pet club features pet catering, pet boarding, pet grooming, pet swimming. We are also a retailer and a distributor. And well, for the reason I started this business, well, historically, Hong Kong has been famous for the real estate prices, the long working hours, and the small flat size. And when I used to work at the law firm, I live far away from the office. That's why I usually got home at around 10 o'clock every day. So during the weekends, I will always look for places to hang out with my dogs. And that's where I thought like building a communal space that offers trustworthy services and premium products would be nice.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a very nice store here. So in your store, we see, at the background, there's a lot of products, the big retail selection. Can you tell the audience your product selection and how this reflects on like the needs of consumers like Laura who come to in your store.
Nowadays, not only are our customers looking for healthy products, good products, they are also looking for products of good design. We work on sourcing a diverse range of products from around the world to get the best of everything. For example, we are distributing brands from Korea and the UK. We feel like our customers are always hungry for premium products, and they are ready to accept foreign trends like vegan pet food, like raw food diet, etc. That's why we hope to bring in more brands from abroad in the future. Other than sourcing globally, we are also developing our own brands and our own products such as pet carrier, cat litter, potty pads, and they are selling surprisingly well.
Yeah, thanks, Chrissy. So actually, we were looking at some import statistics, and in the pet food market, although growing from a small base, the imports over the last 3 years from Korean market alone has grown 10 times. So I hope we're having some Korean pet suppliers here in the audience. So do come to us. We'd like to share our statistics with you as well. So another question also for Chrissy is there a niche in the market that you feel is undisturbed, you see a lot of demand, but not enough supply?
Since the pet industry in Hong Kong has existed for a couple of decades, there is a remarkable number of elderly dogs and cats in the market. In my opinion, it's sometimes a neglected market. We hope to find more suitable products for them. For instance, pet food made specially for elderly. It's also worth mentioning that there are a couple traditional Chinese medicine companies that are setting up their pet supplement divisions to provide the pets some natural remedies, and their sales volumes are very high here. So if any of you are looking to bring to your countries some new kind of supplements and medicines, please go and have a look.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to know that about the Chinese medicine, which is actually gaining traction around the world. And in Hong Kong, a lot of us, have a mix of both Chinese alternative and Western. So it's very natural that our pets will be having the same level of care. So, okay, well, we're going down to talk with Elaine now. So Elaine is a serial entrepreneur. AI Pet Care is your latest venture, and you have joined the Hong Kong Science and Technology Parks as an incubatee. Tell us more about your journey, Elaine.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elaine. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. Actually, I wasn't really in the pet industry before. I was actually in a very traditional industry, in the jewelry industry. So why I was suddenly working with a jewelry and turned to working in the pet industry, it's actually I was thinking to start a pet jewelry brand and then making some nice jewelry for the dogs and cats. But after that, I just found out that, there's plenty of products in the markets already. So why not I create something with functional? So I would like to bring up some jewelry with functional. So after that, I have the ideas that we're working with a university team in Hong Kong. We start to use the AI to analyze the pet's behavior. And this is the first project, let's say, in the world. So that's why we have the potential to get in the Hong Kong Science Park, which is under the Hong Kong government, and support us to be their incubatee to start the project and R&D work now.
Yeah, Hong Kong Science and Technology Park is a big cluster of companies, and it is really a park with several locations that Invest Hong Kong would love to talk to you about if you're especially in technology. So I would also like to take this opportunity to remind the audience, please send in your questions to both panels, both panel 1 and panel 2 is who are coming later. So I will be monitoring the chat from the iPad. So please do, I encourage you to send in your questions now rather than later. Okay, so continuing with Elaine, how about capital raising and investors in Hong Kong? Hong Kong is always known as a finance hub. So has that helped you on your journey?
So actually for before, I was working for jewelry. For the traditional industry, it's not that with a huge capital and huge investor is interested in. But if you're working with like some new ideas, let's say with the pets technology, actually pets technology, this term is very new. Yeah, so they are the VC and the investors looking for some project with the innovation. So if you have some new ideas, but you don't have an R&D team, but if you got the ideas and the ideas is really working, Hong Kong have plenty of this kind of like a program to support you. Let's say Hong Kong Science Park and also Cyberport, they are willing to support you. As I'm the interviewee of Hong Kong Science Park, and they have a huge connection with different investors, which I just joined for 2 months. I already talked with 3 investors about their project. So I think Hong Kong, the market for the investor is very large, and it's easy for us to reach their investors.
You mentioned connectivity. I also want to bring up that the Greater Bay Area, which is the area of southern China of 9 cities plus 2 special administrative regions of Hong Kong and Macau. Together, we're talking about 70 million consumers. So we had a chat earlier, Elaine. How can you sort of use a base in Hong Kong and tap into opportunities in the Greater Bay Area, which is also having a growing pet population?
So I think that Hong Kong is a springboard to jump to the Greater Bay Area. And Greater Bay Area is a huge potential for us and for you guys. If you want to get in China, Greater Bay Area is how to say, it's like they open the gates for you to welcome you to get in. Because a lot of foreigners that you might notice that when you get into China, there's a lot of different policy that be hard for you guys to get into China. But for Greater Bay Area, there's plenty of lawyers, international accountants that you can work with them. That's easier for you guys to bring in the business to the Greater Bay Area. And especially for the pet industry, I can say that why I start the pet business is also because last year, 2020, during the COVID-19, there's 2 IPO. It's actually come into the China market. So this is a huge potential in the China market, including Hong Kong as well.
Yeah.
For product-wise, Hong Kong is also a trendsetter,
Yes.
I guess. And people in China do observe our product preference. And, you know, it's not a secret that import restriction is kind of troublesome in China, but in Hong Kong, it's much easier. And that makes Hong Kong a great place to shop for Chinese tourists.
Yes, absolutely. I think Hong Kong has always been seen as a gateway and a showcase for a lot of international brands looking to come into the Asia or the Greater Bay Area or even the Greater China region. So just preempting my colleagues of panel 2, I'd just like to reiterate that Hong Kong is a free port. We hardly have any import taxes, no VAT, and businesses are only very lightly regulated. So the whole environment is very business friendly. And actually this week, we have a whole series of Start Me Up festival events. And this is one of the events of this whole week. So please, you know, there's still tomorrow and there's some video on demand recording. So please sign up for the Start Me Up event as well. Okay, so continuing, we talked about, you know, bringing, you know, Hong Kong, meeting your consumers, getting to know that. We're going to start with Laura on a bit on marketing and trade shows. So you talked about the community. You're looking for the best of the best of the best for Fa-Seng here. So how do you go discover these products?
Well, aside from getting referrals or recommendations from fellow pet owners, and what we often do is that we visit pet trade shows, and that's roughly 3 to 4 per year, where it's normally like a few days, very much like, say, an IT trade show. A few days, there are a lot of booths, brands, distributors, they will set up their booths with free trials, with product information. And currently, with COVID, it's slightly impacted, but then on normal days, it's actually jam-packed. When I drive into the exhibition area, we have to wait to get in. Yeah.
So how do you use trade shows to promote as well?
Well, there was a pet show last month in Hong Kong. And even though the pet shows in Hong Kong are operated on a B2C basis, but we were reached out by many agents from other Asian countries and from China. And we think it's a great way to showcase our products.
And I also see, for some very interesting developments, like it used to be food and accessories, etc., but now you have like pet financing and pet insurance.
Yeah.
So it's actually very happening.
Can you as a user maybe tell a little bit of the audience about how sophisticated this market is in Hong Kong? For financing, pet insurance, like is this something you want to consider?
Well, definitely, because I'm going to share a small experience, which is 2 years ago, Fasang had food poisoning, and we had to take her for the vet, which by the end of it, we spent roughly 20,000 US dollars.
Whoa,
just over 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
And that is when we had the wake up call to consider whether or not we need a pet insurance service. And to be honest, it used to be only one supplier or two suppliers, but now we're seeing a lot of interesting variety of pet insurance offers. So definitely something that we are considering and comparing.
Yeah. And I hear from my friends and colleagues when their pets do get sick. Actually, the cost of veterinary service is quite high in Hong Kong.
It's actually much more expensive than going to a normal human doctor.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So if you're a vet,
come here.
Okay, we're gonna be reaching out to the pet associations of the world with our message. Yeah. So Elaine, how about you with trade shows? Is this something you use often, or is something maybe in the future you plan to use?
So for my previous business, I usually go a lot of trade show because trade shows always can reach a lot of international buyers and also sellers. So also could be easier for a wholesaler. But for me right now, we are developing an AI system to detect the behavior of the pet. So we might not going to so much traditional trade show, but we join a lot of online showing, to talking with the potential client, and also we're working with vets actually. So because we want to have the system, is also have some professional some data, also professional some opinions from suggestions from the vets.
Okay, we're gonna go to the final question for this panel. The question will be, give us a short forecast of how you see the pet supplies market in 3 to 5 years. We'll start with Elaine and then Chrissy, and then I have another question for you, Laura.
So I think in coming few years it's going to be, let's use the word crazy, because for me before COVID, I usually fly around and I don't really have pets, and I don't think about I will have a pet. But now I already have one cat, and I'm going to have another cat. And for me, I also same as you. I don't really care and look at the price.
We don't look at the price.
only
The ladies don't look at the price, okay?
Only everything the best for them, but not even for myself. I think
you look at the price for yourself, but for that, whatever.
So I think that's a huge potential in Hong Kong, and especially China and GBA area, because a lot of people, they cannot fly and they cannot go traveling, and this is not easy to solve in these 2 years. And so we can see the data, the pet owner is growing up a lot. So I think in coming 2-3 years, the user is growing up. So when the demand is going up, the supply is going up as well. So actually, Hong Kong and China need to come here.
Whoa, okay, that's good news. So Chrissy, your forecast of the pet supplies market in 3 to 5 years.
I think now that people are more product knowledgeable, they are going for brands that comes with a great story and that is willing to share more product knowledge. And I think in a few years time, people will be asking for more and more. And I hope there will be more quality pet brands that are happy to explore the market in Hong Kong.
We have one audience question for you, Chrissy.
Yes.
It's about looking for locations. This is if they want to actually come up not only for distributorship, but setting at something. How friendly are landlords now for a space like this? Maybe not as big, but has it changed?
If you want to open a shop in Hong Kong, now is the time, because Hong Kong is known for the real estate prices, but for now, under the pandemic, the rent is much
Shopping
lower,
mall.
and landlord are like easier for them to give in, you know, like
Yes.
More
for the
negotiable.
leasing.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I think Laura, you also had the recent experience.
Yes, totally, totally. So I think if you're exploring and if you're ready, if you have good brands, I totally echo Chrissy's point. Now's the time.
Yeah, now is the time.
Okay. Okay, Laura, final question for
Yes.
you. Which product or service do you really, really, really want to have in Hong Kong?
I think I would
Yeah.
echo with Chrissy's earlier point about products that educate us, products that have a brand story, products that care about pets, as well as products that would serve the slightly elderly market, because I think that's really unserved.
Yeah.
And we get pets, but then it's, you know, it's a journey, it's a life. So when the pet goes to the latter part of the journey, and we feel that there's slightly untapped market right there. So elderly pet services and, you know, food.
Okay, so that's the end of panel one. I want to thank Chrissy, Elaine, and Laura for their sharing. So what we're gonna take a few minutes to swap to the next panel, but we're gonna have a video about the 3 stories of the pet shop that we're in. So for you to actually see how nice it is and how sophisticated it is. So if we could just have the video, please. Okay, while we're, I'm just gonna do a quick voiceover on the video. So this is level 1, and this is all the pet products and supplies, and you can see a lot of pet grooming in the background and pet toys. Yeah, and yeah, this is still the pet grooming selection. This is the pet snack selection. Yeah, it looks very nice. And then we're going to be approaching the pet cake area in just a second. This is just around the corner. Yeah, this is the fridge that we're gonna have pet cookies and pet cakes. Yeah, pet fashion. Looks very nice. And then we're up to level 2. And level 2 is the grooming area for the pets. And as you can see, this is a weekday, but it's fully booked. We have 3 little dogs here having their spa treatment. Makes me want to go up to level 2 for treatment myself. Totally enjoying it. So cute. Okay, and that's not it. There's still level 3. So after we're passing these kennels and pet hotel area, the staff is bringing our crew, you know, past the pet hotel area. Again, you can see there's quite a lot of animals here, nice and happy. And continuing to level 3, yes, there is a lift. And level 3 is the cafe eatery. So you can bring your little furry friends and, you know, come here and enjoy the sunshine, enjoy a cup of coffee. Yeah, so that's the 3 levels of the pet shop. Okay, so this is the second panel. The panel is opportunities in Hong Kong pet supplies market. We have my 2 colleagues here, and Felix Wong, Senior Analyst, Euromonitor International, Cindy Wong, Head of Tourism and Hospitality, Emily Choi, Senior Manager of Consumer Products at Invest Hong Kong. So Cindy and Emily are cat lovers, but in Hong Kong we call them cat slaves.
Yeah.
Cat slaves.
Cat
Okay, how many
slaves.
cats have you got?
3.
Now, how many?
Only one. little
Okay,
girl.
that's only temporary. I'm sure you get more. So same question again. In brief, how much do you spend on your cats a month?
We don't calculate it
Again, don't
precisely,
calculate.
but
Nobody
I
calculates.
guess approximately $500 per month. In that, a lot of them goes to food, some goes to toys, and also snacks. They are big snack lovers.
Cindy?
More or less the same, since I only have one cat now, but it depends on how old they are sometimes. If they are older, actually we need to spend more, in maintaining their health, getting supplement, getting, to the clinic. That will be a huge spending, can be easily to 1,000, 2,000 per month, US dollar per month. But now I only have one young cat, so I think around 300 to 400, originally.
Okay, so Felix, from your observations and your statistics at your monitor, you have some information to share with the audience. So we're gonna be showing you some slides here. So Felix, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Angelica. So hello everyone, this is Felix from Euromonitor International. So I specialize in pet care and packaged food industries in Hong Kong and Taiwan. So actually, from this slide, we can see there are two graphs illustrating the per pet capita consumption of both food and non-food pet products. From the first graph, we can see that the 2020 per cat and dog capita consumption of food actually reached 1,000 US dollars, which is actually almost a double of the second top market, Singapore. And from the second graph, we can see that the per pet capita consumption of pet products is actually 250 US dollars per year per pet. And this is actually a multiple of the second top market, South Korea. And you may wonder, why would this happen? So why would Hong Kong be that ultra premium pet care market in APAC? So the next slide would actually bring you a bit of hints of this answer. So we see from this graph that Euromonitor actually asked more than 15,000 of pet owners and asked them how would they describe themselves as pet owners. Many of these pet owners, as you can see, more than 74% of pet owners in Hong Kong would regard their pets as the beloved members of family. And this is about 6 percentage points greater than the APAC proportion. So we can see that pet owners actually have strong affiliation with their pets in Hong Kong.
Okay, when you're talking about premiumization or what are the best sellers or trends, maybe Felix, tell us audience a bit more about this area.
Yeah, sure. So as I've mentioned, Hong Kong is actually an ultra premium pet care market in both food and actually pet supplies and pet services as well. So in terms of food, we see that there are like a lot of food players. They are premiumizing their offerings with a lot of natural and complete nutrition offerings. For example, freeze-dried reform would be a kind that maybe Cindy and Emily would also have encountered. So these kind of food products, they have well-preserved nutrition without being destroyed actually. So this kind of nutrition and protein would serve best for pets' diets. Another dimension could be more fresh and raw food that is actually ultra premium as well. And these kind of food are actually most likely owned by local brands here. And many of these kind of brands, they cater specifically allergy problems for skin and digestive problems for pets. Apart from natural and complete nutrition, we also see pet owners are pursuing health functionalities for their pets. This is actually an interesting and unique phenomenon in Hong Kong, because Hong Kong is actually quite an aging economy, with both human population and pet population aging as well. So as the pet owners grow older together with their pets, they will realize that both of them needs the healthcare needs, and they will generalize and extend the needs to pets. So we can see there are many functional food from many big local brands catering, for example, digestive problems, skin problems, allergy problems, as well as bring and fertility problems for aging pets as well. And third, I would say a third trend for food is that many of the pet owners, they are, how to say, these kind of pet owners, when they choose food for their pets, they would look not only for high protein, which used to be a great, attractive enough labels, but they are also pursuing quality and easy digestible proteins. So when Emily and Cindy, you choose your pet food, you may be also finding like more attributes like human grade, quality species of meats, quality types of meats, as well as even low ash level. Low ash level means that there is a low amount of useless mixtures inside the food. So these are more about the food trends.
So, when we're, looking also at the human food market, we're seeing a lot of startups, offering, either delivery, weekly delivery, fresh, frozen. Maybe Cindy, if you can talk a little bit about and if there are any parallels you see from the human food delivery wellness trend and also the pet wellness trend.
Well, in terms of, the delivery, it's not just about the human food, of course. Like Phyllis just said, actually, there are some local players. They cook the food, in a central kitchen already, and then they will use Deliveroo or Foodpanda, and then they will send the newly freshly made food to certain places like pet shops, or to the pet owner's home, or even to some of the vet clinics. So actually, the whole ecosystem is getting bigger and bigger. It's not just about human food, but also to our pets already.
So Cindy, and Felix, we have a question coming in about vegan pet food. So does your monitor this very niche product?
We actually saw vegan pet food is a niche segment in Hong Kong, because as I've mentioned, so pet owners now in Hong Kong, they are mainly looking for high protein pet food. These may also include like quality amount and also quality level of proteins. On the other hand, we of course see that there are pet owners which also adore the concept of vegan. For example, being animal friendly and taking care of animal welfare. But this actually is still a very niche segment in Hong Kong now.
May I add, actually, for our animals, sometimes we have to think about what exactly they want also. Because originally from the natural side, from the nature, actually dogs and cats, they eat, what is available, and then they eat it. They don't waste anything. They are not human beings that we cook and buy too much, and then we have food waste, which we don't want. Animals, actually, I think they are carnivores. So maybe it's better for them. So vegan sometimes is to human. We want to be more healthy, and we want to be, more sustainable, to the earth, and then be greener. But for pets, I think we have to look for what is good for them. Maybe just natural and organic would be good enough, not necessarily to be totally vegan, which is, I think, will be quite demanding in terms of, for the nutrition levels.
We also have another question coming in, asking more information about the elderly pets. So I know, Cindy, you've been a pet owner for many, many years.
Yes.
You've just experienced this,
Yes.
unfortunately. So maybe if you could tell us a little bit about what happened and
When
you
they get
know,
older.
when they get older, you know, I think not only with the product, but also the services that you need to use.
They get older much faster than us, and then we treat them like our kids. So it's very sad, you know, to see them when they have the first sign of, you know, of aging. Actually, we feel very bad already. But as owner, we are with them, you know, every day, so we know what is going on. In terms of services, actually, for animals, you know, when you can see the symptoms, normally it's quite late already, to be honest with you. So that's why, you know, what is very important nowadays, I think, just like Laura just said, I'm very glad to see more pet insurance companies are coming into the market, because normally when we bring them to see the vet, the bill will be easily, you know, 4 digits, 5 digits
US dollars,
in
yes.
Hong Kong.
Yes.
So for a lot of pet owners, it's really hard for them, you know, to have that kind of budget to pay for the bill, and they may have to do something, you know, that they don't want to do, maybe to, you know, maybe to not to give them the best care. So I think a pet insurance is something that is good to the pet owners and to the pet.
Yeah. Do you mind maybe sharing a little bit on Afterlife Services?
What was Afterlife?
Yeah.
I don't think you need further service. Okay. Well, for the funeral, actually, you know, for Hong Kong, there are a few choices. Of course, you know, legally, you cannot just, you know, bury
Not enough space here.
you cannot bury them, you know, wherever you want. Suppose you need to go to a licensed funeral home, the cremation center, to cremate them. Yeah. And then, you know, and then you can take, you know, the ash back home, or you can spread, you know, over a garden. And also there are new services coming to the market already. I know that, you know, some of the my friends told me that there are some you know, new services will be used chemical, actually can dissolve you know, in the body, so that, you know, it can, you know, just return, you know, back to the nature. Kind of.
We are also seeing some companies turning your pet's ashes into diamonds.
Yes.
Into diamonds.
Yeah.
So you can wear them. You have them every day.
This is a Bobo and this is Oscar, and you know,
And close to the heart.
But yeah. Okay, so Felix, how about you and your statistics? What, you know, specifically on the elderly pet market, what do you see? And also I want to follow up with another question is about you know, sales and distribution channels.
Yeah, actually, I want to echo to what Emily and Cindy mentioned. That actually, some of my friends, who have pets, they actually turn their like dead pets into diamond, because bodies are essentially made of carbon. So like they turn it into accessories and like wear them, so that they are always close to.
Yeah. So this service is already available in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
Quite costly too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quite costly too.
Yeah, but you guys don't think about price, so that's okay, right? Yeah.
So, and for the pet care market segment for Asian pets, we actually saw that yes, functional food is the key demand and also key profession for these Asian pets, because functional food actually have a key positioning that specifically cater these diseases, for example, skin problems, allergy problems that I've mentioned. And of course, like for Asian pets, one most popular attribute would be definitely brain and fertility boosting pet food, which is provided by like key brands in vet clinics. And of course, vet clinic is also a very popular channel that I want to echo to the last question, Angelica, you mentioned. So in Hong Kong, I guess in 2020 and 2021, e-commerce would definitely be a big channel that actually grows very rapidly. And this is of course due to home seclusion, when pet owners actually have more time to stay at home, they want to browse randomly about like pet care information, be it nutrition, diets, and even pet nature, for example, being a carnivore or not. Yeah, so this kind of time would actually provide the availability for pet owners to shop online and also to convert into money they spend.
I was looking at your statistics, and I think retail channels now is more 80% is still in-store physical, but you see the growth in e-commerce channels and platforms and things like that.
Yeah, actually. So actually, many e-commerce platforms are converted or owned by pet shops, brick and mortar ones, like Rough and Fetch, I guess.
Yeah.
Actually,
Whisker and
Paws,
Paws.
yeah.
Whisker and Paws is actually one good
One of
player
yes.
that can balance both brick and mortar shops and online stores. Being online used to be a bit of like difficult task for brick and mortar shops because it's hard to balance the profitability to have both brick and mortar and online lines. However, in 2020, we see a long-term shift of consumption patterns from offline to online. And with the e-commerce infrastructure being more and more sophisticated, actually, these kind of shops, they can provide more experience for pet owners, not only like browsing the textual information, but also to have for example, 360-degree view of the products and very clear product specification in terms of origins, production procedures, what concepts they proceed, etc. So this would actually equip e-commerce platforms for like high demand for pet owners.
Okay, so we're going to have Emily presenting some information on the Hong Kong market. So if we can have Emily's slides come up. And but at the same time, while Emily's getting ready, we have a question on cat litter. So we have two specialists here. Can you start? What is the most important? Odor-free, dust-free, or hard clumping? That's very technical.
That's very technical. What is clump-free? Only we know. Only cat people will know. Yeah, in terms of, I think we tend to try new things. Hong Kong people, especially Asian people, we work, quite long hours. So we are very particular about cat litter because we may not be able to stay home for the whole day to clean, whenever our lovely cats, use the litter. So we tend to find those cat litter which can, absorb the odor faster and then also can clump better and not carry the litter, around the home. So I have been using different kinds of cat litter, cat sand, corn, soya, and the latest one I'm using is cassava.
Well, okay.
Cassava is kind of
like taro, right?
Taro, kind of, which is, the clumping is good, and also, it's more affordable than the soya, actually.
I was looking also again at the Euromonitor statistics, and cat litter growth is like 44% over the last 5 years. So I think this is, if you're a cat litter supplier, please, you have the market here ready for you. So, how about you and your cat litter?
I used to have only one cat before last year. So at that time, my concern was like Cindy, odor-free is a very huge, important priority for me. So that was my priority for choosing cat litter. Since mid last year, I got 2 little kittens, and now they are 7 months old.
They love to fight in the cat litter.
They love to fight.
Yes.
They love to sit in the litter box.
Yeah.
They sometimes even eat the litter, put it into their mouth.
Okay.
So that's why for these little kittens, I choose the soya litter, such that even if they ingest them accidentally, it's still safe for them.
Yeah, I want to show the audience. Emily's mask is full of little cats and kittens in Fuji Mountain.
Yeah.
So she wore this specifically for today's webinar just to show her cat slave identity.
And actually, this mask is developed by a cat owner in Hong Kong. So it's they are a couple who were traveling in Japan, and they met.
Which one?
Yeah.
流頭王.
Yeah, right. So they were traveling in Japan and they saw a cat. So they rescued the cat and then brought it to Hong Kong, and they later also adopted 2 more cats. And they love these cats so much, so they had set up a Facebook page showing these cats, and they also even designed products around these cats. So this is
pet supplies is not only for pets; it's also for pet owners.
Yeah, also cats, we have cats KOLs.
Yeah.
Yes. These are,
this is one of them.
cat
Yeah.
KOLs.
Okay, Emily. Yes,
Okay.
give the time to you.
Yeah. So Hong Kong is indeed a very pet-loving city. Angelica mentioned that we have a pet population of 1.2 million, which is twice of that of the kindergarten and primary school children combined. And we keep a variety of pets. Cats and dogs are hugely popular, and they take up approximately half the pet population. We also keep, in fact, dogs are slightly more popular than cats, and also small dogs are more popular than the medium and the large dogs. We also keep reptiles, fishes, and small mammals. And in the screen, you should be able to see the breakdown of the different categories of pets. What's interesting about this chart is that for most categories, you are seeing tremendous growth in the past 5 years. So this means a lot of business opportunities are there in Hong Kong. And so
don't we have a street in Hong Kong that just sells aquarium and stuff like that?
But we don't. We apart from that street, we also have another street called Victory Avenue.
Victory Avenue.
So
tell us what you found out when you visited Victory Avenue.
Yeah. So these these both streets are close to my home. So I took a walk along the Victory Avenue and I tried to count the number of pet shops and vets and other service providers, and I found more than 20 pet shops.
And Victory Avenue is less than 1 kilometer. It's 800 meters.
300.
No, 300 meters. 300 meters. How many pet shops?
More than 20
pet shops. Okay.
And also 3 fairs and 1 hospital. Yeah.
Okay.
If I didn't count wrong.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah, hugely popular. In general, the cats and dog lover, pet owners tend to spend more. So when we take a look, more detailed look into their profile, we find that 1 out of 10 households do keep a cat or a dog. And the typical, because the average flat size in Hong Kong is 484 square feet.
About 50 square meters.
Yeah, so that means pet owners are trying, in general, they don't keep a lot of pets. So for dog owners, approximately 68% of the dog owners keep only 1 dog, and 59% of cat owners keep only 1 cat. And that means they are trying to provide the best for their pet because they only have 1 companion, most of them. And these dog and cat owners are generally experienced. The average age of the dogs are 6.9 years old, and the average age of cats are 6 years old. So when we take into the account of the growing number of pets in Hong Kong, which means a lot of people are adopting kittens or even buying pets. So this number means that a lot of pet owners are very experienced and they want to select the best for their pets, and they know a lot as well.
Next slide.
Yeah. So this kind of like pet culture and also pet growing population have given rise to a number of services around to take good care of the pets. So these they keep pets very well taken care of. So to the left, top left, we have a strong major pharmacy chain in Hong Kong venturing into petmacy, which means pet pharmacy for pets. And these petmacies even have vet nurses providing consultations. We also have retailers like Rough and Fetch providing very nice products for our furry kids. And also we have shopping, we have retailers, we have shopping malls, which are pet friendly. We have pet friendly restaurants. We also even have pet themed shopping malls like Petoyo. And of course, we have various pet events, such as a pet show where pet owners can bring in their pets for free and to network with other pet owners. And of course, like you also get to see that there is a W Hotel working with a pet retailer organizing a roof bar so people, pet owners can have fun. And to bring the pets around will mean a lot of like transportation services are needed. So Uber is also providing Uber pet service for pet owners. And to keep pets home happy, we also need a lot of other services such as pet training services, such as that provided by the Hong Kong Dog Rescue. We have also like other well-being or like pet owner training services offered by SPCA. We have pet sitting services. We also have pet insurance for cats and dogs. And in case, unfortunately, if your pet gets ill, there are a lot of vet services such as that of ESH mobile vet services and also pet ambulances, which you can use. And when it's time to bid a sad farewell for your pet to your pets, there are also funeral services which can help you take care of your pet well.
Okay, so Emily's just gone through all the opportunities and the range of products. So I'm going to pass the time to Cindy. And in her slide, she's going to actually tell you, so, okay, if you want to come to Hong Kong, you see the opportunity, it's a great place to be. What's the next steps? And what are the market entry models that companies can consider?
Yes, after listening to all the panel speakers and then the ecosystem and the potential in Hong Kong, I'm sure you are interested already, and we want more companies to come here and then bring in their products and services to us, all our pet owners. Of course, for Invest Hong Kong, since if you have interest in setting up in Hong Kong, there are a few things you can consider already. First of all, like I apparently say, attend trade shows and consumer shows in Hong Kong. Nowadays, we also have some virtual events you can attend. For the supply side, you can join some toy fairs. And then for the pet food side, also we have consumer shows and we have trade shows like Natural and Organic Product Asia in September. It's the coming September in our convention center. Even though in the past, major exhibitors are actually they're selling human food, but what I can see from the last few years, actually there are more and more pet suppliers are also using Natural and Organic Asia, these trade shows, to target the pet owners in Hong Kong. They sell not just food, but also targeting supplements, which are natural for our pets. And also in Hong Kong, you can work with experienced partners and distributors. We have plenty, of this kind of contests to share with you, like even on the Victoria Street, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also distributors like Rough and Fetch are professional, and also when come to the own setup, like our panel said, actually Hong Kong the rent is going down. Now is the best time to come. This is the window, for SMEs or for companies when you want to look into Hong Kong, Asia, or through Hong Kong to look into GBA and China. Now is the time. Why? Because apart from a standalone shop, you can also work with a lot of property developers to do pop-ups. Nowadays, when we go to shopping malls, apart from shopping for ourselves, we also shop for our pets. When I go to a shopping mall, I have seen different pop-up stores for dogs and cats already, and also to help your partners or distributors to tell the story better. In Hong Kong, actually, you can also have your teams to work with different marketing agency, KOLs, pet clubs. KOL, I mean, pet owners and also pet themselves, which they always
Famous pets. Famous pets.
Famous pet. We always have different names, and because of COVID, actually we spend more time, watching these videos on TikTok and also on YouTube, and follow these, past KOLs. And Hong Kong, of course, we are the trendsetter, and there are, a huge demand for different supplements. As our aging population in terms of human and also our pets, actually we are looking for more supplements, not just for our elderly pet, but we tend to start early. Actually, when they are growing up, we start with complete nutrition already. And also because we spend more time at home, we tend to shop more. And I would say, our cats at home and dogs getting heavier because we feed them more treats.
Yeah.
For pet owners, we always think, oh, they are not, eating enough.
Yeah.
But actually, sometimes,
Eating
we are
too
feeding
much.
them too much. So make sure, you come to us, and then, that is the most important.
But
Because for
Cindy,
Invest Hong Kong,
Cindy, you have one more slide here
Mm.
on regulation.
Oh,
like
okay.
I think that's important for the audience to know what does require regulation and what doesn't,
Okay. Well, I have a slide,
Yeah.
Actually, for Hong Kong, it is not, it's not a highly regulated, in terms of for the food, pet food, pet supplements, pet supplies, pet walking, and pet grooming. But there are, of course, certain areas you need to look at, and you look at the left side, like for example, like vet clinic, pet hotel, you need to get license, pet training, you need to get certificate. Of course, pet breeding, you also need to get license from Agricultural, Fishery and Conservation Department. As a pet owner, I don't promote breeders, adopt, don't shop. And also pet insurance, of course, you need license, pet funeral, pet cafe. These are, all regulated. And actually, I would say the pet business is an evolving business. So it's better to consult us, Invest Hong Kong. We have free advice services, and then we can tell you and point you to the right direction of how to get around and how to get the proper license if needed. Okay.
So
Seems
okay, we're
very
gonna be
interesting to me as well, because
Yes.
actually I'm not an expert in regulations, but I can see like all these industries with regulation, they're actually booming in Hong Kong since 2020 onwards.
Yes. And also one thing is, in terms of pet food and pet supplies, Hong Kong is, is easier already. So Hong Kong is a good hub for a company like yours to come to Hong Kong first, because the system in China and also maybe in Singapore, they are more regulated than Hong Kong. If you want to send something, you want to export something into China, you need to register with Ministry of Agriculture, and you need to get certain certificate and have to work with an importer agent over there. So make use of the availability of service providers and partners in Hong Kong and contact us. We can, guide you through, all these process.
Okay, we're gonna be wrapping up this panel. So, just the last question to all of you. Felix, what's your forecast?
Yeah, that is a very general question, but I think I can break it down into some segments. So, I see like Hong Kong is getting more and more pet friendly, of course, with the launch of Pet Toyo soon. Actually, this is triggering a more and more virtuous cycle among shopping malls, because when shopping malls are lessening regulations, for example, allowing pets to be on ground, holding a lot of mini markets that cater to pets, we see definitely a greater pet friendliness for the whole retail environment in Hong Kong. Meanwhile, actually in 2020, an interesting phenomenon is that pet care industry is one of those few industries that are actually booming very rapidly. We saw no depremiumization of pet owners to save a bit of budget just to be better for themselves. There is no such thing. So pet owners don't dare to risk their pets not eating or not living properly. Instead, they would rather save their own budgets. So we see that pet owners are more and more devoted to their pets because Hong Kong has a high living cost. Actually, many households are more willing to bear a pet than a child. And this is also because of having a greater flexibility and freedom in lifestyle for pet owners. So as a result, of course, from an industry perspective, I would say the pet economy is getting more and more positive sentiments and feedbacks from all across the sectors and all across pet owners as well. And I think lastly, e-commerce has a special role. E-commerce is not just a tool for retailers or players to get wider penetration, but e-commerce is actually indirectly boosting the sophistication of pet owners, because when during home seclusion, for example, or when you browse products online, people are devoting more and more time to read the product specification, learn more about the pet's needs, and they actually would like to pay more to make their pets best off. So that is also why in 2020 onwards, sophistication has been rising together with the whole pet care industry and e-commerce as well.
Okay, so I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who helped out to make this webinar a success, to thank our guests from both panels, and just a little bit about our department. I realize I haven't mentioned anything about us. So we are a part of the Hong Kong government, and we provide free and customized services for helping companies to set up in Hong Kong. We have 33 offices around the world. So after this event, we have recorded it and we will be sharing the slides. So everyone who registered will be receiving an email from us with our contact information. So many of you, we received questions that we weren't able to address in great detail this evening, but once you get our email, please contact us and we will have a member of the team talk to you in greater detail, either about licensing or about trends. And if you need more information from your monitor or any of our other panelists on today, we will get you connected with them. So thank you again for joining us today, and we hope to see you in Hong Kong very, very soon. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.